Don't the broccoli look good since we got the rain this morning? Look at that. Looking good. Look at that. It's perked right up, starting to grow. And the more I look at that, the more I know that is not a strawberry plant. I don't think it is. I mean, I'm just not sure. I don't know whether to pull it out of there or what to do with it. I have no idea. Maybe I better leave it just to make sure. But look at that. Isn't that pretty? I just came out here and had my phone with me or my camera with me and thought I would give you an update on some of this. Look at that. It's beautiful. And look at that. That garlic is just standing up pretty. The onions are really growing. Look at that. Even though I broke them off, they're already putting out more. Look at that. And I've got flowers coming up in here. And I guess the wind blew seeds in the pot. Which, you know, that happens. But they're perked right up since we've had that little bit of rain. Look at there, the kale is almost ready to be harvested again. It won't be long before I can plant something in here. Well, a little bit of seeds that was in it froze, so, because, you know, they had little sprouts coming up. Look at that. Isn't that something? I don't want it to go to seed, though, so I'm going to break that little thing off. Just thought I'd give you a quick update. Yeah, I went ahead and did my 3 buckets over there and set them up. I don't know. Little thing is holding on. I don't know if it'll do anything, but it's still there. Yeah, we really got a downpour this morning. Oh, look at that. Some of my leeks are almost, they're coming out of the bucket top. Won't be long before I can transplant them. And my peas. The beets love the rain. The carrots did. All of my green cabbage loved it. It's looking good. But I need to get those cabbage out of the shed. Chinese cabbage, I think it is, and get that planted in some buckets or totes or something that I can cover up if it freezes again. I don't know when I'll do that. Let me put this down. And I'll get over here and unzip the greenhouse. Wanted to give you an update on my Jolly Green tree collard. Look at that. It has done some growing since it's warmed up. And look at that little one. It's rooted and it's growing. And I got another potato plant. Look at that. I'll have to get that potato plant out of there. Some of these other things need to come out. But look at that. Potato plant. I don't know where I want to put it. I've actually got enough. I mean, all that is potato plants. But I guess I could put one more in there. That's what happens though when you that's what happens when you put potatoes in your compost buckets. You end up with a lot of times potatoes sprouting out. Well, now what did I do with, there it is. I lost the potato plant. Yeah, I guess there's room down in there. I can stick this one. Well, I'm gonna get it down deep, so. Get it down deep, and then that way I can, as it grows, I can add a little bit more dirt in there, which I probably need to add some. I know what I'll do. Let me go get my key. Let's see. I think I got some stuff. I got some of this homemade ant killer that I need to spray down in here because I saw some ants crawling around. Don't want to kill my plants. So I didn't want to use anything commercial. Some stuff coming up in there that don't need to be in there. But yeah, since I've got a little bit of potting soil, I'm just going to add a little bit to the top of that. If I had enough mulch and stuff made, I could add that, but I don't have any. I've been putting most of my scraps in my compost pile, my compost bin, not my compost bin, but my compost tea. So I haven't been really putting it in around plants or in it. I mean, in my compost bins. So I don't have any compost. So, and I want something that'll stay loose. I don't want it to cake up like that other soil did that you saw me changing out in the buckets. So I'm just going to add a little bit of potting mix to the top. I'm only putting a couple of inches. And then I'll wait till the plants grow a little bit more. And then I'll add more later. That's enough. I'm going to put some compost tea though. And I want to show you because I had somebody that asked me about this. They wanted to know, what do you do when you go down to the bottom of your bucket and it's just sludge? Well, see, I've got broken down tomato plants and everything else down in there, and it hasn't been hot enough for it really to break down, and I've been using compost tea out of it. So I'm just simply going to fill the bucket back up with water. Leave all that down in there and fill it up. And when you mix it around like that, it stirs it all up. You can tell our water's been off. There's still air in the lines left from yesterday. And see, that made me another 5 gallons of compost tea. And I want to show you. Look at this. How dark it is. I'm going to put it in the bucket. See how dark it is? That's still good compost tea right there. So if you have a lot of stuff down in your bucket, don't dump it out. Refill your bucket with water. As long as it's brown like that, or you can see that there's stuff in the water, look at that. That's still good compost tea right there. And that's what I'm going to put over in this other watering can to put on my potatoes and my collard green, or my collard tree collard. But it's easier to put it in that bucket and then do it. And it may not work too good because there's a lot of stuff in there. I should have put it in the other bucket, I guess. But I'm simply going to water my tree collard with it. Jolly green tree collard. And see, it does stop it up a little. I should have put it in the one that I cut the spout off of, but I wasn't thinking. Don't need much in it anyway. Just a little bit. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to dump it back in that bucket. Oh. Sometimes if I thought ahead, you know, I might be better off. And I'll have to wash that can out. To get all that sediment out of the bottom of it so it don't stop up my holes there. That is easy enough to do. There. And I usually keep it in there upside down so stuff can't get in it. Wiping my hands on my pants, my jeans. But look, see how dark it is? And you would have thought all my compost tea was gone, but look at that. That's still good compost tea there. So fill your buckets up until you see that there's no more compost tea to deal with. And the only reason I'm watering, sorry about that, I keep forgetting I got the camera in my hand. But refill your buckets as long as there's sediment in the bottom or you got sludge down in the bottom. Refill your bucket. If you really need it, need the stuff that's broke down in the bottom of it, then by all means pour it out into your bucket or your tote and use it for compost. But, you know, you can use it one way or the other, either in the compost tea or you can put it in your buckets or totes when you're building your when you're building them. But look at there. I've got lettuce coming up in every one, and I need to put water in that too. They're starting to wilt over a little bit. So you can see what I'm doing here. I got to go get some water, some more compost tea to go in there. Because they're wilting down, that means they need water. And you know what, since I've got compost tea that came out of the tower, the green stalk tower, I'm going to pour it in there. That'll give them a new lease on life when it gets in there. And I need to check my other ones. See, that's why they're wilted down a little bit. And this is water, so I can go ahead and spray the top a little bit. It might have got too hot in here today, because I didn't open the greenhouse. But I think they'll be all right. Let's move this out of the way. Gotta check on these. But look at there. Oh man. Let me turn. But look at that. Those are tomato plants coming up. Let's see, the bell pepper has not come up yet. Usually the bell pepper takes a little bit longer. And I'm going to put the rest of that right in there. So that's got plenty of water. I don't want to overflow it, but it needs, you know, about 1 inch of water in the very bottom. Maybe not quite 1 inch. Just enough to keep those pots supplied with water. And man, they're really drinking that one up. It's almost empty again. This one is fine, but I need to add more to that one. Look at there. Rose bush opening up. But yeah, see there? And I've not been using a grow light. All I've been using is a floodlight at night, just to keep things from freezing. And let me go get a little bit more water so I can put water to that. Don't want it to dry out. Actually, I went and got some compost tea, because you know that's what I've been putting down in there. Whoops. Yeah, sorry about that. Hit the camera with the bucket. But yeah, it's got to have some water in there. You can't let it get empty. The same way with these other rose bushes and everything. They've got to have water. And I guess you can't see what I'm doing. Just putting a little bit in each one. Whew. Let's see if I can put this down. It's a rose bush in there, so put a little bit more water in there, not much. Put a little bit more in my Chinese cabbage. A little bit more in that one. Like I said, I don't want to flood them, but I do not want my pots to dry out. And when it gets this warmer weather, it's very easy for your pots to dry out. Let's see. Yeah, I think that one was drying out. It's still alive, but it started to burn up a little. Might even need to leave the lid off of it a little bit. Oh, look. Look at the sprouts. My seeds are coming up, and that's the Tiny Tim tomato, little dwarf tomato. And I think that, and this is a Tiny Tim. Look at that. And I don't want them to get so leggy. And there's one down in there. That's another Tiny Tim. It really needs more sun than what it's getting up there. Let's see if I can find a spot to move it down some. Don't know if it'll fit in there. Fits in there, it'll get more. It'll get more sunshine there. Let me put this down and get my Tiny Tim cup. I had to move it because I can't turn the bucket upside down to get that little bit out of it. And that's really all that needed. But I really need these down here a little bit so they can get. And I'm going to just spray with plain water since I don't have any more compost tea right here. Do not want them little seedlings to dry out. And those seedlings there need to come down too. Not sure where to put them. Because it's going to get cold on us again in a couple of nights. It's going to be down to like 45, which is not freezing. But a lot of these don't like 45-degree weather either. Some of them don't like to get below 50. So, let's see what I can do. Maybe get this one over here. And put this on it because it'll be, the sun will be shining on this. And well, I can't do that. It's going to have to be this big one. And look at this. Y'all were questioning the cans. That was in a can. No, that was in the big plastic can. I was trying to find one that I had put in a regular can. And I know I did. Oh, I think it's down in there. And you know what? I don't think that one likes it too good in here. That was an eggplant. I'm going to put it right down in here. I think it will fit right there. Yeah. I think it'll have a better chance of coming up right there. And since I took the lid off of it, you know, things are kind of drying out here. I mean, I could put the... Sorry about that. You can tell I am just not camera worthy. What I could do is just put it part of the way so it'll hold some moisture, but just leave a big gap in it like that. So it's not going to get too hot in there. And I just don't want to have to cover that up again because my rose bush is about 2 or 3 inches higher than the tote. What I need to do is get that one out, put it in a bigger pot, and put it out here in the yard. That's what I need to do. Let's see if I can get hold of it. Oop, it's this one next to it. Got hold of the wrong one. If I can get it. Don't want to break anything here. Oh my God, it's in a little bitty pot. But look at the roots. Whoop. Making a mess, y'all. Trying to tighten this camera up because it's about to come off of the thing. But look at the roots. Yeah, this one's got to go in a bigger pot because the roots are just growing all out. And you know what? Since I've got a pot right there, I think I'm going to put it right there. And if I have to, I can put it back. Whoop. I can put it back in the greenhouse. Find what I need here. Now I gotta dig a hole. So I gotta take some of this out. Let's see. I'm wondering if I got a different pot I can put this in. A big one. Because what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to put it in this big knockout rosebush container that I got years ago, and I've been using it to put other plants in. I think what I'm going to do is transfer it over into that. That way I can make bigger holes in the bottom of it and put it right down in my garden up there instead of putting it in there. So, first of all, I'm going to go over here and just get a few wood chips, I think. Not many. And I shouldn't get them from here. I should go out and... And this is just to help with the drainage. See, I didn't put money in there, just a little. That's just to help with the drainage, I think. But yeah, what I intended to do anyway is take them out, put them in a bigger pot, let them grow a little bit, and let them establish some really good roots before I put them in the ground. Oops. that one has already got some good roots. It's about to get dark on me, y'all. But at least and I'm gonna put a little bit of potting mix in there on top of my compost that I just took out of that bucket or that other pot. And I'm gonna see if I can slip this out of here. No, look who's come to see us. And he pushed the camera, almost knocked it over. Look at that. It's my little buddy. And I may have to call her Birdette or something, because I think it's a male. No, I think it's a female cat. But I really wasn't calling it Buddy. I was just saying it was my little buddy. So I've just been kind of saying it's my buddy ever since. I wasn't really trying to name the cat because I know it's not mine. But look at that. Look at those roots. I got to get those out of there without breaking them. Oh, look at that. Look at that root system on that rose bush. Look at that. There's nothing wrong with that rose bush. Put it right in here. I'm going to put in some more of this native soil or this compost soil that I've got in this other bucket, because I can always refill that pot. And I'm not taking it all out, just a little bit. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of my potting mix right at the very top. Because what I think I'm going to do with this one is put it up in my front rock garden where I tried to plant that other little bitty one. And since it was just in the rock garden and I didn't put a pot under it or anything to help it with the water. And it didn't have roots on it like this one. So but yeah, if just part of my rose bushes turn out like this one, look at that. That's our first rose bush, y'all, with a rose on the top of it. And I'm going to water it with compost tea. But when you try to root your cuttings in compost tea, it gives it that little added nutrition that they need instead of just putting it in plain old water. Or at least that's what I found. And I'm going to put it right there and leave it for right now, because it's going to be pretty warm tonight, and that'll get it used to being out here. Because it hasn't been that hot in the greenhouse either anyway, so go ahead and fill this bucket back up. Sorry about that. But I wanted to get a thumbnail with my rose bush. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I can't hold it. Let's take it somewhere else. think I've got one of my trays here somewhere I can put under it. Don't know what I did with it. I lose stuff all the time, y'all. I lose you. I lose stuff I'm looking for. I may have already used it in here. Yeah, I think I did. I put it on but I may have one here that doesn't have holes in it. That I can put under it temporarily. Because even though I put it in a pot, I don't want it to dry out. Because it's dripping all over my porch. But, see if I can get down here and get me a thumbnail. Me, the kitty, and my rose bush. I need to turn the outside light on. Bear with me, guys. Just bear with me. No, you can't go in the house. He wants in the house. Yeah, he wants in the house. Oh. Well, come here. Come here, kitty. Come on. Get in my picture. Yeah, come on over here. Come on up here. There you go. And there's our first rose bush, y'all. You saw the roots on it, and that was one of the cuttings from last year that we put in the greenhouse. No wonder it had a flower on it already with that root system. That's going to be a pretty rose bush. I hope the other ones turn out as good as this one. I really do. But there you go. My first rose bush that I have successfully rooted, got out of the greenhouse, and put in a bigger pot. And you saw me when I pulled it out of that little cup. It was not bought in that container. Those roots would not have went through the bottom of that little square thing. And you saw how long that bush has been in that tote in the greenhouse. It's been in there all winter long. But look at that. Yep, that's going to be something pretty. What I'm going to do is move that big pot. I might go ahead and do it. Well, I think what I'm going to do, yeah, and he's right here with me. I'm going to plant it right there. I'm going to move this pot. And that's where that other little rose bush was trying to grow, but I think it's died. Because it didn't get enough attention over the cold months. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to dig a hole under where that pot is. And I'm going to put it right there. If I can go ahead and turn some lights on out here, I might go ahead and do it. If I don't step on this kitty cat. Ah! Sorry. I dropped it. Or I didn't drop it. I put it down and I didn't have the tripod set right. That helps a little bit. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. And I don't know where to put the camera that you can see what I'm doing. It needs to be a little higher up like that. And I need to move this. And I need to get something to dig a hole with. And see, I told you, I don't plan on nothing. I just decide to do something and I go for it. I need my bigger shovel, but I could probably get it done with this. Now I need to get my trash can in over there. But what I'm doing is just digging a hole. Move this over further. I'm just trying to dig out a hole right there where the pot was sitting. And I'm just simply going to sit that whole pot in there. But first I am going to cut bigger holes in the bottom of it. And that's just so the roots have a chance to come out the bottom of the pot. Because I'll just leave the pot there. It's not going to hurt the roots to go through it. Everything's getting root bound in here. So you can say you've had a late night in the garden with Linda tonight. I have no idea what time it is. But like I said, this is the way I do a lot of my stuff. And I want it a little bit further toward the front. I don't want it completely to the back. But I found here, as dry as it gets, if you at least put something around your plants, like a small pot, to help contain the water in it, it has a hard time surviving because the dirt dries out too fast. But I think doing this, just having the pot there too, will help. And being able to get it down in there is going to help too. Now all my outside lights are on. That scared me. I forgot I moved the camera over here and the cat over there bumped one of the chairs, and I just knew he knocked my camera off. This is some good soil here because over the years I've just filled it with potting mix and leaves and all kind of stuff. But like I said, to give this rose bush a good start, this time I'm leaving this one in the pot, just cutting the holes really big in the bottom, almost cutting the bottom of it out. But it'll help keep the moisture in the pot. See how deep I got it. Well, it's deep, but not quite deep enough. Take this knife and cut around in here. Helps cut up some of the roots. Yeah, I'm going to love having some more rose bushes up here. And I think doing this, giving it a good start, will really help. That might work. I'd really love to have it deeper. Yeah, just a little bit deeper. I could do it all over again. Just bear with me, y'all. I'll make my mind up what I want to do here in a minute. Those are mostly surface roots from something. Needs to be dug out back here. At least one it's setting halfway level. That should work. Put all that good soil back around it. I think that'll work. I just have to come up with somewhere else to put this other pot here. I'm not sure where, but find somewhere to put it. It's like I said, I don't know if the I'm going to put it right here for right now. I'll move it later. But one thing I wanted to do since I'm out here, they picked up my garbage today. And if I don't move it now while I'm thinking about it, I'll forget and I'll leave the trash can out here. Got my house pretty well lit. I try to use small lights because they're a lot less expensive than the bigger ones. And if I need to later, actually I can even do it now, is cut off some of the top of the pot. But I don't think I want to cut it off right now because it'll give it a little bit of stability if I leave it there like that. And that should be plenty wet enough. So there, we've just planted our first rosebush cutting that we rooted over the winter in my rock garden. And like I said, I cut enough slits in the bottom of that pot, and those holes are big enough that those roots will go right through the opening in the bottom of that pot. But having that pot around it temporarily will keep it moist, keep it from drying out so much, and it helps hold the moisture underneath it. So that's the way I'm going to do this one because, like I said, I put the other one right out in the dirt. And I don't know if you can see it. It's still there. I just covered it up. But that's part of it sticking up right there. And it looks like it's dead. But I'm going to leave it there just in case. Because you never know. It might come back up. And if it does, I'll leave it. And it can grow right with this other one that's there. Yeah, that's going to be a pretty rose bush this summer. I just have to remember to keep it watered. I mean, the ground's got plenty of moisture in it now. I watered the pot, so it's got plenty of moisture. So it should be okay for right now. And I need to go ahead and turn my lights off up here. Yeah, I just plug them in up here so I can unplug them when I want to. Or I can plug them in from inside the house if I want to. Plug them in here and then wait till later and I can unplug them from outside or inside. Sorry. Well, I think my camera is still recording. I know what y'all are saying. Probably saying, woman, you need to get with the program here. Quit being so clumsy and dropping us in the ground. But now I got to get out here and put up all my stuff. I got to put up my, well, what I can do is turn a light on. If I don't drop the camera again. Turn on the light in the greenhouse right now. I forgot I had to go all the way around there to turn the light on. But what I think I'm going to do, if I don't drop this again, is see if I can check some roots on another one of these pots. Oh my God, look at that. That one's got to come out of that pot. I'll have to do that tomorrow because you don't want the roots to go too much after they come out of the bottom of the pot like that. Because if you do, they'll get so tangled that they'll break off when you try to get them out of the pot. And I'm covering up the light, and I'm sorry. Check another one. Oh my God, look at that. Look at that. Look at those roots. We're going to have to get several of them repotted tomorrow and probably put them out in the yard. And look at that. So see, y'all can do that too. If you didn't cut rose cuttings when I did, back when I cut mine, you need to cut some if you want rose bushes. Because you're not going to get rose bushes any cheaper than that. And I did that because I wanted to get that dirty water off the top of that. But yeah. And I got my cans sitting out here in case I need to use them. I've got them there. And I got my little drainers to sit them in if I want to. Just like that. To either start seeds or more cuttings. But see, I've got a whole tray of those plastic pots because I keep reusing mine. And this one up here probably needs sun. And I don't know where I'm going to be able to put it. I've got too much in my greenhouse. I mean, too much in here that's down. You know, that's down where I can get to it. I might go ahead and leave that light on tonight. But this one I was afraid is maybe getting too dried out in there. Let's see. No, it's wet, but it was probably getting too hot with the sun shining on it. So I'm going to leave the bottle off of it. Throw my bottles right down there. I don't think that one's going to make it. It don't like that dirt that was in that pot. I don't think that one likes the dirt that's in there either. But those were some of the last ones that I cut and put in here. Experimenting with them. That one's not. See, I can take those out and put yeah, that one's not going to make it either. So I'm just going to leave it uncovered. To remind me the next time I come in here. That one may. It just doesn't have enough moisture in it though. But I know those don't like it. They do not like the soil that they're in, I don't think. Because that does make a difference. I think I might leave that uncovered. And that's my Tiny Tim tomato. So, that's about all I'm able to do tonight except put my stuff up. I think I'm going to... It's only going to be down to 50 tonight, so I'm going to leave those two out. I would leave the door open, but I'm afraid that cat will get in there and start digging and stuff. Because I don't want a cat to get in there and start digging up my plants. So I'm going to keep it zipped just to keep the cat from going in there. And you know what? I might be able just to leave that. Well, I'll leave it on there one more time. I was going to uncover the lettuce. But I think I will leave it. If it only gets down to 50 tonight, it's not going to hurt the collard or the potatoes, I don't think. I don't know, I just may put my potatoes back in there because I don't trust them. Really, I don't trust any of them. But they'll be all right since I've put water in them. And I babied that tree collard so much because the other one died. And I do not want to lose that tree collard. Those things are too expensive when you buy cuttings. That's the reason I say if you can start your own plants from, and look at there, I left that out. Oh well, I can leave it right there, it'll be fine. I gotta set the camera down just a minute. Get this stuff just shoved right inside the door of the shed. Yeah, I'm hoping those other potatoes will be working their way up to the top of those bags before much longer. I'm just going to set that right in there. That'll be fine. But yeah, I know if I leave the door open, that cat's going to go in there. And it's just a cat's nature to start digging and stuff. And if he can find a way on top of any of those pots to start digging, that's exactly what he's going to do. But like I said, that's about all I can do tonight. Because I can't see. I don't have enough lights out here to be able to see what I'm doing. But anyway, you saw a good way to root rose bushes. And that surprised me when I pulled it out of there and it had those bigger roots on it. I was not expecting that. I thought I was going to have to wait a while longer to be able to pull any of those things out and replant them. But I was wrong, and you saw it. But they love compost tea. They root real good when you have that compost tea in there because they love it. I mean, it's food for them. So, and you can do them in the spring. I mean, you can cut rose cuttings right now and root them. Or you can wait till the spring when all the freezes is over and you can cut your cuttings in and root them. They claim they root easier in the, in the hot, warmer weather in the springtime. But I've always rooted mine over the winter in my greenhouse, and they've worked well for me. I mean, you don't expect every single one of them to make it because you're going to have a lot of them that don't. And basically that's in the cutting that it is. If you get a good cutting and you get it in there in the ground and you get it fixed just right, it will root like crazy, just like I've showed you. And my insolent plant is loving it. I watered it because it started to droop down a little bit. First sign of needing water is it drooping down. So, yeah, I'm probably going to move my coleus back in the house tonight. And my mother of millions right there. The rest of it will probably stay out here. So, with that, I am going to bid y'all a good night. Please like, share, and subscribe to my videos. Y'all have a blessed evening. And I will see you on my next one. Bye now.